shine a light through a prism full spectrum.
Man, that's cool.
G'day everyone, Adam here, Going Overland. We've got a busy time ahead of us. We've got a trip coming up this weekend and Larissa is off to Fraser Island next weekend. But you'll probably see this video after all those trips because we're testing out the 4-drive detail salt sort of, I don't know, what do you call it, Joe? Salt selection of things.
Yeah.
Now I paid for this full price. I wanted to do an honest review of this stuff, so I've paid for this full price. I am very strict with this car on the beach and how much work I put into it before and after a beach trip every time. We used to just spray vegetable oil and we also have electronic rust preventer, but we're speaking of the Rangers up there, what they do, they spray their cars down in vegetable oil. But I wanted to give the 4-drive detail a go, so I am worried. I don't like spraying things on the car that I've never used before, so I'm nervous, but we're going to cut to the chase. I'm going to spray it all down. Larissa's going to do her trip and we'll be back shortly with, do I recommend this stuff? Does it work? Yeah, is it good for your car, or don't ever use it? We'll be back shortly. Let's get this stuff on and yeah, see what happens.
Cut.
Okay, so we've got 3 products here. We've got the salt seal, which is what you do before the beach. You've got the chassis shield, which is you got to do that when the car's dry, so after that one. And then we've got the salt eliminator, which you do after the beach. And you can also use this stuff, they reckon, just for general forward driving, for mud and stuff, making it easier to wash your vehicles, which will help me because pretty much after every trip, I'll wash this car and I'll spend, it could take 2 to 3 hours washing the car after a muddy trip. So if this can save me a lot of time. So what they recommend for this stuff, they don't recommend you do it in the sun or let it dry on the vehicle. So either you do it at night time, late in the afternoon, undercover. Today's a rainy day, so it is perfect. And there are instructions, use a foam gun. So I'm going to do under the bonnet, I'm going to do all over the car with this salt shield, the first one. And then I'll dry it down and maybe tomorrow afternoon I'll do the chassis shield underneath. You climb underneath with a little spray gun, you spray it all, which is what we normally do with oils and things like that.
Man, that's cool.
Do not use on white vehicles.
Does it seriously say that?
It must be good stuff. My hands feel nice and slippery, they do, like oily.
Damn it. I'll just touch the car.
But it's fine. No, you get your, don't you dare.
I feel so nice.
Oh my god, come on. I'll wring your neck.
It tries to push you.
It's like a real gun. Alright, so that's the first one all done. Just gonna dry it. Probably take it for a spin around the block, make sure all underneath's dry before we do the chassis shield. But just feeling it, it feels like it's less protected than when we do the wash and wax, the Armor All wash and wax. It doesn't feel like it's as coated and slippery and slick. So I'm very interested. Fingers crossed. Look, fingers crossed it does work well because, like I said, I'm anal about this car when it goes on the beach, and we do it a lot. We do big trips on the beach, and it's 32 years old. There is 0 rust in this vehicle, and that's because of how much care we take with it. So fingers crossed it's not just a gimmick, this stuff, because yeah, it does not feel the same as when it's got the wash and wax on there. All right, last thing now is put the chassis shield on. It's got a few safety precautions. It doesn't recommend, or it doesn't say anything about wearing a mask or gloves. I'm going to do that anyway. When you get a bit older in your life, you sort of start to realise some of the silly things you did when you were young and the protections you should have taken. So I'm going to wear a mask just to stop it, anything like that getting in your lungs, and gloves, keep my hands clean. You spray it on, you just let it dry. So this is a pretty easy job. I've got the creeper. I'm going to climb under the car and I'll do that. And Joe's going to be inside while I do it because I don't want him breathing any of this in. I don't know how bad it is for you.
Oh, yeah. Should I record from inside? Do you want me to set up the tripod?
We're still recording right here, Nate.
Oh, sorry.
Focus.
I know.
It says not to get in waterways and things like that. So when it dries, it's fine. It stays on your car, doesn't wash off. But yeah, you certainly don't want to be inhaling this stuff, I reckon.
Alright.
Alright, that's all done. That was a big job. Oh, not really a big job, but an annoying job. I'm glad I wore a mask, goggles, definitely goggles, and gloves because it was spraying gun everywhere. That's what I had to put the camera away because it's just getting too messy. So that's all done. I always do like take the seals off and spray in all those drain holes and in the doors. Like I said, I'm very thorough when we go to a beach trip, so fingers crossed this stuff works because it'll be annoying if it doesn't and the car gets damaged from a beach run when it shouldn't get damaged.
People never make it out. I'm a 5-star brain in a 2-star town, and I'ma give it back when I have enough money in my hands, enough for the friends and the fam, and I owe it all to Yahweh. Lord knows that I couldn't do it my way. On the spot, a ticket for the fast lane. Now I'm hopping on a flight to the Everglades to forget the pressure.
Okay, so Larissa and Kim just got back from their trip to Fraser Island. They had 4 days up there. So far, the first impressions of the car, how it looks. Yeah, it looks good. Doesn't look too salty or anything like that. They did have a fair bit of rain on the way home, so it's probably washed a lot of it off already. But the fact that it's come off really easily, it's good. The rims, the chrome rims, they're the hardest thing. Anyone's ever owned chrome rims will understand how hard they are to keep rust free. And they look no worse than when they left. They already had a little bit of rust on them from a salt lake, but they look good. Everything sort of still looks that nice, sort of shiny, especially to the chassis, like oily sort of finish. Some of it has dried on there. There's a little bit of dust on there from the weekend before, but it's peeling off pretty easily, or wiping off. So you can see the salt on the glass. So it's definitely had, you know, salt affecting it, but yeah, pretty happy with it so far. I'm going to get everything out of this car, wash it down with their salt eliminator. You foam it on and hose it all off, and I'll have a look probably tomorrow afternoon how it's looking. But so far, yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it's looking. Now, I might have forgot to mention I did buy a new gun. The one on the gurney, there was no adjustment in it, so this foam gun is from Repco. I think it was about $60, $70, something like that. It's really good. It's a lot better. I've used it a few times now. Yeah, I didn't trust that one on the gurney, so this is definitely a lot better gun. And it's very similar to the one they sell online through 4Drive Detail. So yeah, really happy with this gun.
Lay back and just forget the pressure. It's alright.
Okay, patrol's all dry, all cleaned up the best I can. We used the salt eliminator twice, and I don't know if I mentioned this, I did buy a new foam gun. The one on our gurney is just useless. but still there's sand stuck in the guards. Very hard to wipe off. I am going to give the car a sponge over and a proper wash, and I think that'll get it off, washing in those guards. But still a bit annoying. Like, is it the salt eliminator doing the work, or is it the gurney doing the work? And I don't want to be hitting this car at the gurney every time I want to wash it. In my opinion, it's the gurney doing the work. I've used the salt eliminator and like the cleaning detergent they have on the work van, and it did bugger all compared to like just wetting it down and letting the water sit on it by itself. It didn't do much extra, you know, breaking up the dirt and bird crap and, you know, just the road grind. So I don't know, I don't really believe that product works. I think it's the gurney doing the work. So you're wetting it down, you're letting it sit for 10 minutes, then you're hitting it with the gurney. I think water and normal detergent maybe would do the same job, or just water alone would do the same job. The chassis shield, what do I think of that? I think it works. I think it's something that definitely coats your chassis and your running gear underneath and the bottom of the floor. I reckon it works, but I reckon it's something that you have to do regularly, like every time you go to the beach. It's not something that stays in your car permanently. So overall, I recommend the chassis shield. I reckon that stuff works. I reckon something you spray on your car every time, you know, a couple of days before you go to the beach. Do that every time. I reckon it coated it really nicely. Even now it still feels a bit oily, which is great. There's no sign of any surface rust on the diff housings, which we normally get on a beach trip. The other stuff, the salt eliminator and the salt, I forget what it's called, the first one you spray on, I don't know if it works or not. I'm going to stick to using the Armor All Wash and Wax. I think that had a far more protective coating on the paintwork. And you know, if it's something where you've got to use the gurney to be doing the work, I'd rather use a soft detergent and a sponge and just do it by hand rather than hitting the paint with the gurney every time. Sure, if your car is coated in mud, definitely using the gurney is a good option rather than washing it with a sponge. Definitely use a bucket method as well. But for me, I'm just going to be in the future buying the chassis shield. I'm not going to be buying the other stuff.